Good evening. Has the Stimulus Act accomplished what it set out to?
Not if you ask House Speaker John Boehner. He says it's been a failure. Mr. Boehner sat down with 9 News anchor Carol Williams a day after her one-on-one interview with President Obama. Carol is live in Washington with more for us. Carol?
Clyde and Tanya, it is all about politics here in Washington. Today was the 2nd anniversary of the signing of the stimulus bill, and so that's the reason the Republicans are making that evaluation. After interviewing the president yesterday, today was my chance to get the other side from House Speaker John Boehner. D.C., a city where history is happening now.
But come on, we're broke.
A day after my one-on-one interview with President Obama, we came to the Capitol to see the Speaker of the House in action. Many would call him the 2nd most powerful man in Washington. He's certainly busy these days and emphatic about what he believes.
Read my lips. We're going to cut spending.
But he made the time to sit down and talk with me.
Mr. Speaker, how are you?
About important issues for the tri-state, including a vote that could mean the loss of 1,000 jobs for our area. The House voted to kill GE's backup jet fighter engine. How disappointed were you in that?
Well, I am committed to the House working its will. And the House worked its will yesterday. Doesn't mean I'm happy about it, but the House spoke. I think that the second engine for the F-35 is a very good investment on the part of the United States. And most importantly, I think it will save money over the first 10 years that we're in operation. This is going to go to the Senate now, and we're going to continue to work on this.
In a case like this, do you feel a conflict between your job as the congressman from Westchester and your job as the Speaker of the House?
No, I'm a big believer that the second engine for the F-35 is the right thing for the country. But, you know, we've got 87 new Republican members. We've got 8 new Democrat members. A lot of these members have never dealt with this issue. And they made decisions yesterday to cut. This was one of the cuts. Well, but like I said, I wasn't real happy about it.
On the 2-year anniversary of the signing of the Stimulus Act, the Speaker says stimulus has been a failure.
The President and his people said that when we sign the stimulus bill, unemployment will not exceed 8%. Well, it's at 9%, and if you look at the real unemployment rate, it's probably closer to 18%. The President said, when I sign this bill, it will create jobs immediately. It has not. This has been $900 billion or $800 billion of a Washington spending binge that's done nothing to create real jobs in our country.
Mr. Boehner has criticized the President for not addressing entitlement reform.
Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. We have to deal with it. The American people want us to deal with it. And I pushed the White House again last night. Let's start the conversation, and let's do it together.
But you want to do it together. Would the Republicans want to go first?
If the President won't lead, we will.
The Speaker feels very strongly about budget cuts. He also feels very strongly about his background as a small businessman. And tonight at 11, we'll have his thoughts on a viewer question we asked President Obama, plus a little perspective from our visit to Washington. Clyde?
Carol, before you go, you've talked about how tight security was at the White House. How about the Capitol?
You know, I really have been struck by how tight security is at the Capitol and the White House. You just have to be escorted everywhere. At the Capitol, there are Capitol Police everywhere you look. And today we were shooting video outside the Capitol, and an officer came up to warn us that there was a motorcade coming through, and then he saw a backpack lying on the ground. And when he found out that was not ours and he didn't know whose it was, he cleared the area and diverted the motorcade right away. Not taking any chances, Clyde.
No, that's a very serious approach to security. Carol Williams live for us in Washington tonight.